I know it's been a while since I've actually recorded what I've been doing on this, and I started putting some white paint in here, trying to find some things. I painted this fish and I did not record that, and I wish I had, but you know, always having to think about recording everything you do is kind of a bother in the creative process. It's not a conducive thing to the creative process. It necessarily. It has the advantage of documenting the creative process in a way that you can look at it, examine it later. That depends on how really narcissistic you want to get with it. But I was looking at a picture of this, and again, you know, all the stuff that you see here is just an illusion, because if you really looked at it closely, you probably can see from there, it's just a bunch of splotches of color. That's all we've really done here. And as crazily applied as possible in the most random of ways. It's not a process necessarily, and yet it is. Because I know at some point you're going to get to a point where you start to build up enough texture that you can start to carve out things, and that's kind of where we're at now. Like what I'm seeing over here is, I was originally thinking about having like sort of coral reef coming down from the side on both sides, but now I'm thinking I like this blue here. I want to stretch this blue in this direction, so probably all I'm going to do today is just do that little piece, maybe. That's the way I start, but it's not necessarily the way I end up. And again, I'm stingy with the paint. Let's see. Probably should move my guitar, but I'm not. Just see kind of how this feels to you when I apply this little blue in this area here. Does it make more sense? It seemed to when I was just looking at it. That's one of the most necessary parts of doing any sort of art form, is taking a step back and look at what you're really doing. Now, it's not to say you can't overthink it. You totally can overthink it. But I want to stretch this blue feeling over here. Oftentimes when I do this, I make little marks like that, and I think that's not so different than when I was doing like little popcorn prints with a brush when I was in kindergarten, right? It's the same exact function, exact same thing. I'm just padding paint and filling in space and playing with the negative space and positive space. That's all this really is. There's nothing smart about it. It's just a process of doing something. There's no genius. It does not take a genius to do this. I know I say that and you're like, yes, it's fine for you, mister. I just can't do it, and I want to put what's in my brain on the page, and I can't do it. Well, of course you can't do it right away. It takes a little bit of experience doing it. And my way of doing things is pretty much because I can't do that either. I just kind of adapted to try to see what I can make out of something. That's all I've done. Now, you should acquaint yourself with colors and how colors work together, and really observe, look at nature and see how it works. But it doesn't have to be an in-depth understanding of color. I'm putting blue here because I like blue. One of the reasons why I painted scenes like this is because I love blue, right? If you just appreciate colors and you can look at you start to look at color combinations, you see that certain colors work really well together. Now, some would say that this is a pretty impressionistic painting, and yeah, I can agree with that. It, in a way, is more looking at the light than it is the structure of things and how to paint things and how to maybe, you know, that underwater light is is definitely one of the attractive things about doing a scene like this. And in a way that's very impressionistic. And so maybe impressionism just lends itself to painting a coral reef scene. But if you were a really skilled artist, graphic artist, you know, you can make it all art of just becoming as detailed as possible on something. I love looking at, you know, prints of the scientific illustrations, basically, of plants and animals, and there's a beauty to that. It's just, you know, looking at something in a single solitary moment and looking at all that it really is, and being able to represent that in a way. It's something I can get into. I dig it. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you say, that's really cool, I want to put that on my wall? I just want to have all the beauty of a iridescent insect, a beetle, without having to kill the thing and put it on my wall. There I go blabbering again. You know, most of this conversation probably will never make it to your ears. It's interesting seeing it there. Because I'm probably just going to put this on a big reel and speed it up really fast and do one of those videos where you see the artists kind of unfold their vision over time. What really amazes me in some of those videos, and it's something I'll never do because like I said, don't have that real foresight ability of making an image and then wanting to recreate it in front of a camera as that image, as like a planned image. I can't do that. I mean, I could. It would take more time than I have. Way more time than I have. Not that I make the best use of my time. I don't. I definitely don't. I'm pretty sure I'm probably not alone in that assessment. Right now I'm thinking I should have just moved that guitar. But it's a piece of junk. It's not that great of an instrument. It gets a little paint on it. It gets more character than it deserves. Man, okay. I don't know, but I see this guy right here. I'm starting to see like a parrotfish right there or something. Let's get some more. Maybe I have to carve them out. So like this, at this point, I'm just carving out things. Now, I've also refound one of my favorite little books. When we were talking about those scientific illustrations, one of my favorite books, and this is a resource that I will use on this painting. I will look at things in this book and try to recreate them. That is one way of getting your image onto a piece of paper or a painting. But this is the Expert Guide Marine Life, from tropical reef fish to mighty sharks. And it's beautiful little illustrations, great information on each of these little animals. You find some real odd creatures in here. Oh, that guy's beautiful. I use this as a resource to to look at the structure and colors and inspiration on how you could draw a simple little rainbow trout. Anyway, for now.